Introduction. The children of Levi. Ancient Israel was a nation born from hardship. Escaping slavery in Egypt, the Israelites forged a covenant with Yahweh. This covenant, a binding agreement, shaped their laws, their society, and their very identity. Central to this covenant were the Levites, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. The Levites held a unique position, chosen by God for sacred service. They were to be caretakers of the divine presence, entrusted with maintaining the sanctity of Israelite worship and preserving the spiritual well-being of the community. This essay explores the multifaceted roles of the Levites, their symbolic significance, and their enduring legacy. The Levites were descendants of Levi, the third son of Jacob. Their selection for sacred service stems from their zealous defense of God's honor. When other Israelites turned to idolatry, the Levites remained faithful. This loyalty earned them their special status. They were set apart, not for personal gain, but for the service of God and the community. Their lives were to be living examples of dedication and obedience to the divine will. The Levites' duties went beyond simply performing rituals. They were entrusted with the spiritual well-being of the entire nation. Their lives were to be a constant reminder of the sacred covenant. Their service ensured the continuation of Israelite religious life and reinforced the unique bond between God and his chosen people. Understanding the Levites, therefore, is crucial to understanding the heart of ancient Israelite faith. The priestly duties of Aaron's lineage. Within the tribe of Levi, the descendants of Aaron held an even more specialized role, the priesthood. Aaron, the brother of Moses, was chosen by God to be the first high priest. This lineage of priests, known as the Kohanim, were responsible for the most sacred duties within the tabernacle, and later, the temple. They alone could offer sacrifices, burn incense, and pronounce blessings on behalf of the people. The most sacred duty of the priests was officiating at the sacrificial altar. These sacrifices, offered daily, atoned for the sins of the people, and maintained a right relationship with God. The priests meticulously followed divine instructions for each sacrifice, ensuring their efficacy. They also served as mediators between God and the people, conveying divine blessings and pronouncements. The priest's role extended beyond ritual performance. They were also responsible for teaching the law to the people. They instructed them on the proper observance of festivals, dietary laws, and ethical conduct. This ensured the transmission of religious knowledge and the preservation of the covenant across generations. The priests therefore acted as a living bridge between the divine and the human. Keepers of the covenant, beyond priestly duties. While the Aaronic priests held a unique position, the Levites as a whole also played vital roles in the sanctuary. They assisted the priests in their duties, maintaining the sacred space and ensuring the smooth running of religious life. Their responsibilities were diverse, reflecting the multifaceted nature of their service. One of the primary duties of the Levites was the care and transport of the tabernacle and its furnishings. During the Israelites' 40 years of wandering in the wilderness, the Levites were responsible for dismantling, transporting, and reassembling the tabernacle. This portable sanctuary housed the Ark of the Covenant, a symbol of God's presence. The Levites' meticulous care ensured its sanctity and its availability for worship. Beyond their practical duties, the Levites also served as musicians and singers in the sanctuary. They led the people in praising God, enhancing the spiritual atmosphere of religious ceremonies. Their music was not merely entertainment, but an integral part of worship, expressing the community's devotion and drawing them closer to the divine. The Levites, therefore, facilitated a holistic experience of worship, combining the physical, the ritual, and the spiritual. Purity, holiness, and separation, the Levites' unique position. The Levites' dedicated service came with a price, a life set apart. Because they handled sacred objects and performed sacred duties, a higher standard of purity was imposed upon them. This involved ritual cleansing, dietary restrictions, and avoidance of certain activities considered unclean. This separation, while demanding, underscored the sacred nature of their work. The concept of holiness, central to Levitical service, extended beyond physical purity. It signified a state of being set apart for God, dedicated to upholding the sanctity of the covenant. The Levites, by their very lives, embodied this concept. Their separation served as a constant reminder to the Israelites of the divine presence dwelling among them. This separation, however, did not mean isolation. The Levites were deeply embedded within the community. They relied on the other tribes for their sustenance, receiving tithes and offerings as they had no land inheritance. This interdependence fostered a reciprocal relationship, binding the Levites and the rest of Israel in a shared covenant. The Levites' responsibilities extended beyond the sanctuary walls. They played a crucial role in the administration of justice and the education of the people. Their understanding of the law and their perceived impartiality made them ideal judges in legal disputes. They ensured the fair application of the law, maintaining order and righteousness within the community. Moreover, the Levites served as educators, teaching the law to all Israelites. They instructed parents on their duty to pass on religious knowledge to their children. They ensured that the principles of the covenant permeated every aspect of Israelite life, from the personal to the communal. This ensured the continuity of tradition and the preservation of their unique identity. The Levites' role as educators extended beyond the transmission of knowledge. They were also responsible for cultivating spiritual understanding. They helped the people interpret the law, apply it to their lives, and understand its deeper moral and ethical implications. In this way, the Levites nurtured the spiritual growth of the entire nation. The Ark of the Covenant held a central position in Israelite faith. It represented God's presence dwelling amidst his people, a visible reminder of the covenant. The Levites were entrusted with the care and transportation of this sacred object, highlighting their crucial role in maintaining the Israelites' connection with the divine. During their wilderness journey, the Ark, housed within the portable tabernacle, served as a focal point for worship and a symbol of God's guidance. The Levites, by carrying the Ark, facilitated the Israelites' journey, both physically and spiritually. Their presence ensured that the divine presence remained at the heart of the community, even in the midst of hardship. Even after the construction of the temple in Jerusalem, the Levites continued to play a vital role in relation to the Ark. They were responsible for its safekeeping within the Holy of Holies, the most sacred space in the temple. Their vigilance ensured the sanctity of this sacred object, preserving its power as a symbol of God's covenant and presence. The Levites' duties, while practical in nature, carried profound spiritual significance. Their service transcended the merely physical, pointing to a deeper reality, the human desire to connect with the divine. By maintaining the sanctuary, performing rituals, and teaching the law, the Levites facilitated this connection for the entire Israelite community. The Levites' lives were a constant reminder of the sacred covenant. Their very presence challenged the Israelites to live in accordance with God's will. Their sacrifices, their purity, and their dedication served as a model of piety and devotion, inspiring the people to strive for holiness in their own lives. Moreover, the Levites embodied the concept of chosenness, not for personal gain, but for service. Their lives demonstrated that true fulfillment comes from aligning oneself with the divine will. Their example served as a powerful testament to the transformative power of faith and the importance of dedicating one's life to something greater than oneself. Modern echoes. Lessons from the Levites. While the priesthood and sacrificial system are no longer practiced in the same way, the legacy of the Levites continues to resonate today. Their example offers valuable lessons for modern spiritual communities, reminding us of the importance of dedication, service, and the pursuit of holiness. One key lesson is the importance of communal responsibility for maintaining spiritual life. Just as the Levites dedicated their lives to the sanctuary, so too must individuals within a community contribute to its spiritual well-being. This can take many forms, from teaching to service, to simply living a life that reflects one's beliefs. The Levites also remind us of the importance of setting aside time and space for the sacred. Their separation, while demanding, ensured that the divine remained at the forefront of Israelite consciousness. Similarly, modern individuals can benefit from creating space in their lives for spiritual practices, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply spending time in nature. The priesthood of all believers. The concept of a priestly class, intermediary between God and humanity, has evolved in many faiths. The Levites, with their unique access to the divine, embodied this concept in ancient Israel. However, their example also points to a more universal truth: the potential for all individuals to connect with the divine. The Levites' dedication to purity and their role as educators suggest that every individual has the capacity for spiritual growth. Their service reminds us that true worship involves not just outward rituals, but an inward transformation, a dedication to living in accordance with divine will. In this sense, the Levites prefigure the concept of the priesthood of all believers found in some faiths. This idea emphasizes the direct relationship between each individual and the divine, suggesting that we all have the potential to access the sacred within ourselves and in the world around us. Service and sacrifice, timeless values. The Levites' lives were marked by service and sacrifice. They gave up personal land ownership and many personal freedoms to dedicate themselves to the community's spiritual well-being. Their example reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from self-gratification, but from dedicating ourselves to something larger than ourselves. The Levites' sacrifices were not limited to the material realm. They also dedicated their time, their energy, and their very lives to upholding the covenant. Their example challenges us to consider what sacrifices we are willing to make for our beliefs, our communities, and the causes we hold dear. The values of service and sacrifice transcend any particular religion or time period. They are universal principles that contribute to a more just, compassionate, and fulfilling life, both for individuals and for communities. The Levites' example, therefore, continues to hold relevance in the modern world, inspiring us to live lives of purpose and meaning. Conclusion: a legacy of dedication. The Levites stand as a testament to the enduring power of faith and the importance of dedication to something greater than oneself. Their story, woven into the fabric of ancient Israelite history, continues to resonate thousands of years later. While the specific rituals and practices they performed may no longer be observed in the same way, their legacy of service, sacrifice, and spiritual devotion continues to inspire. The Levites remind us that true fulfillment comes not from pursuing our own selfish desires, but from aligning ourselves with a higher purpose. Their example challenges us to consider how we can contribute to the well-being of our communities, how we can cultivate a sense of the sacred in our lives, and how we can live in a way that reflects our deepest values. The Levite story is not simply a relic of the past. It is a living legacy, offering timeless lessons for navigating the complexities of life and finding meaning in a world often focused on the material and the mundane. Their example reminds us that the pursuit of holiness, service, and connection with the divine are not archaic practices, but enduring human needs, as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago.